Good evening, all. Welcoming you all to the MXTechies Mendix third meetup. My name is Dinesh. I'm expert certified Mendix developer and senior technical lead at MXTechies. I've been into the Mendix space for over 6+ years now. And the speakers are going to be Narendran and Gokul. About MXTechies. Here on my screen, we'll see a quick recap on what is MXTechies and when it started. MXTechies was incepted in 2017 and initially provided services on full stack development. And in 2018, we stepped into the Mendix space. We are headquartered in US, Delaware, and have development centers in Pune and Bangalore. We have over 75+ certified Mendix developers, including expert, intermediate, rapid, and which also we are the first company in Asia to have 6 expert developers in-house, and we are the first Siemens Mendix partners to publish over 100+ marketplace content. We provide the whole 9 yards of Mendix services, right from design to development and maintenance of web, native, mobile, and progressive web applications. We also provide other services which includes RPA and retail operations. And we are now Siemens Mendix partnership. Now I'll hand over the session to Narendra.
Thanks, Dinesh. Welcome everyone. My name is Narendra. I'm an advanced certified Mendix developer with MXTechies. I have 4+ years of experience in Mendix across web, native, progressive web apps, and have built over 15 applications across pharma, manufacturing, education, legal, and insurance. Today, I'm here to talk about how to break the barriers to build native application using Mendix. First, we are going to briefly talk about the topic, after which we shall immediately jump into what everyone is waiting for, the use case and the demo. We plan to keep the whole session really interesting and we are really excited. Okay, now we often find developers being hesitant to build native apps because a lot of them believe that native development is too complicated. However, we are here to demonstrate that it is not complex at all. Through this meetup, we aim to encourage all developers to start building native application without any hesitation. We are going to walk you through the entire development lifecycle of native application, right from creating the native app, data modeling, synchronization, handling UI, build app using native builder, OTA release, and finally the App Store release. We will be looking at all these elaborately in some time. So now my colleague Gokul will take over.
Thank you, Naren. Hello everyone. Good evening. My name is Gokul. I am an advanced certified Mendix developer with MXTechies. I have around 4 years of experience in Mendix across web, hybrid, native, and progressive web apps. I have worked with several global clients on various projects involving native app development. I have a strong passion for native apps, and I'm going to share my experience with the native app development. So now move on to the presentation, guys.
Hope everyone can see the screen.
Here, when and why native application. The first is better user experience. Native applications are designed to provide a superior user experience compared to web application. They fully utilize the capabilities of your device such as camera, GPS, and accelerometer. This results in smoother and more enjoyable user experience. Second, the most important thing is it provides the offline capabilities. It enables the user to use without any internet connectivity in your working area. So Next is improved performance. They run faster and more efficiently than web application because they are optimized for your device they are running on. Finally, access to the App Store. So submitting your application to App Store like Apple App Store and Google Play Store can increase its visibility and distribution, and also it providing greater access to the potential users. Next, alright guys, now let's clear up some myths and about the building native application. Here, Narayan and I are going to have an interaction about the myths and their corresponding realities involved in the native app development. Alright Narayan, is it true building native app is difficult and takes a lot of time?
Definitely not. You know what? Mendix actually simplifies the process of building native apps. Developers can use drag and drop components to quickly create the user interface, and much of the backend code is handled by other platforms. So this makes it faster to develop and deploy native apps.
It's pretty interesting. On to next one. Yeah. I heard building native app is more expensive than traditional coding. Can you explain please?
No, that's another myth. In fact, building a native app in Mendix can be more cost effective than traditional coding. This is because Mendix reduced the amount of code required, speed up the development process, and reduce the time.
Wow, this is a great piece of information. So, I heard many people say data handling is more complex. Is it true?
Of course not. It is quite simple. While constructing the domain model, we need to take an extra care and minimize the use of owner associations, and also avoid using system members. Instead, create separate attributes.
Wonderful. How about page building? Is it more complex than web application?
Well, there may be some difference in development process. Building a page in Mendix application can actually be simpler in some cases.
Fantastic. And finally, user experience. Is it time consuming to bring a better user experience in native application?
Well, the reality is Mendix offers a wide range of tools and features that can help developers to create an user-friendly interface quickly and efficiently.
Thank you so much, Narayan, for all your clarification. I'm really glad to know the reality is. So, all right, everyone. So these are the most common myths and actual reality. So let's move on to the advantages of building native apps.
Okay, moving to the next topic is advantage of building native apps in Mendix. So first is offline support. They can also work offline, which is helpful when there is limited or no internet connectivity. Second, improved performance. It generates optimized code for native applications, resulting in faster load times, smoother animations, and better performance. Third, access to device features. So it allows access to the native devices features such as camera, GPS, and accelerometer, enabling developers to build applications that makes use of features and enhance the user experience too. Cross-platform support. So now we are going to look at the most important advantage. Mendix allows developers to build native application for both iOS and Android platforms. Providing cross-platforms supports that can reduce the development time and cost. Better user experience. So it provides a better user experience by utilizing the device specifics and features and with the hardware. Faster development and better security. So with faster development, developers can build native apps faster than traditional development methods. Better security. Native apps offer better security features than web applications. These applications can be distributed through app stores, which has an additional security features such as app sign-in, app review, and malware scan. Now, Gokul will take over from here.
Thank you, Narayan. Now comes to the Mendix native journey. So Mendix was introduced in August 2019 in the version of 8.0. Mendix 8.0 comes with the feature new native mobile app, which design system with a pre-built UI components and layouts. Mendix 8.8. It contains some great new features to build powerful native applications. One of the most requested features for native mobile app is the ability to call microflow from nanoflow. So in this way, you can interact with online resources such as retrieving the data from REST services or access and use complex logic like Java actions. Mendix 9.0. It is easier to add additional React Native modules to your native application. Your pluggable widgets or JS actions can now define which native module it needs. This makes it easier to create and use more powerful pluggable widgets and JS actions for the native mobile apps. Mendix 9.2. It added the features like mobile app preview in Mendix Studio and provide support for third-party plugins and libraries. Mendix 9.18. So it added an option to encrypt the local database that a database stored on the mobile to hold all synchronized objects. So here comes the Mendix 9.24. So it introduced a new synchronization mode called Never, and also we can convert a microflow into nanoflow and nanoflow into microflows. So this is how native mobile evolved in the Mendix. Now something very interesting for you all. Mendix is going to introduce two new courses in Academy very soon. The first one is how to create a great user experience for mobile apps with Mendix. Second, to model and efficiently synchronize data in an offline application. Let's move on to the next topic. What is the best version to build native application? The Mendix native application has been evolved since its inception. We recommend that using 9.0 will be much efficient to use. It gives all the newly added features and mainly it allows you to debug the nanoflow and comes with a performance bot too. After that, we can delete the objects. It's introduced in the 9th version. Apart from that, it depends on various factors like app requirements and developer familiarity. So developer and platform. Developers should carefully consider the platform version to ensure it meets their application needs. And also, it's important to ensure the platform supports the necessary modules and connectors. Finally, staying up to date. Staying up to date with the latest platform releases and updates. It is recommended to take advantage of the newly added features. So now look at your use case. Mendix is an industry agnostic platform that can be used to develop native application for a variety of industries, including manufacturing, banking and finance, pharmaceutical and healthcare, government, retail and e-commerce, telecommunication, legal and more. So today we are going to provide a use case for automating a few manufacturing industries. So particularly for site administration. Here, the site manager needed to create an application that site engineer could use. The site engineer can track and update a process in several departments, including production planning, scheduling, quality control, inventory management, and maintenance repair. And also, they can access this application even if they were in area without internet connection. So let's see the go-to modules. These are the go-to modules we can use in our native applications. First, native mobile resource, nanoflow commons MXTechies, native file document, native REST. Let's move on to our use case demo. So in this demo, we are showcasing the application, how to handle many-to-many associations, enable multi-select, data synchronization, and finally, how do you cut down on the time it takes the image to upload to the server. Let's start the demo. So let me share my modeler, guys. So using the emulator, I'm sharing my mobile screen. So I think everyone can see my screen. So site engineer will use the native application. I'm logged in as a site engineer. So here he will see all the list of sites which are assigned to him. And also, we have added an amazing feature developed by Mendix called list view swipe. Here, when I swipe left, we can see the site details and also the list of daily process. From here, he can add his daily task on clicking the Add Daily Process button. So let me add some data here, adding the process type as design engineering, description as processing the data. So updated on as today's date, work completed as 50%. So, so once the data is added, he can add the photos for this. Let me add few pictures for this. Let me add few more pictures. So, so I'm adding few. So yes, the process is added. So I'm clicking on the save. I'm getting the confirmation message which saying add daily process is added successfully. So apart from this, the site engineer can add requests by clicking on create request button. So here I'm creating the request type as engine fitting, description as equipment needed. So whenever the equipment or product is needed from the site engineer can request to the manager. So this process is, so I'm adding the amount for this. So once after adding, I can select multiple sites for the particular request. Going to the add site page, I'm adding site 1 and site 2 for this particular request. So once after submitting this request will go to the site manager. Site manager can update and approve the request. So these are the process which site engineer can do from this native application. So one more thing, he can able to view all my requests which is raised by himself. Let's move on to the Studio Pro and see how the backend logic is implemented. So hope everyone can see my modular. I'm going to the domain model. Yep. Mendix native. So we cannot change the data in one-to-one association, but we can show the data in page level. And also there is another main restriction in Mendix you are aware of, using of many-to-many association, which is responsible for multi-select. To overcome that, we introduced one new association called site underscore request, which is one-to-many. This association is just added as a helper association to show the data in page level. So let us see the pages and nanoflows that are used to handle the multi-select function. I'm going to the request new page, request underscore new. In the request new page, we have used select site button to choose the multi-select. So from here, I'm clicking on the select site page, navigating to the add site page. So here you can see we have retrieved all the sites from the database. So here we have retrieved all the sites from the database. So when selecting the site, I'm changing the Boolean value to true to know which site is selected. So in this container, I'm changing the value as is selected value as true. So I'm calling on backend nanoflow to change the is selected value. So going back to the request site list page. So once after selecting all the site, I'm going to select the process. So here we will see the backend process. After selection in the select nanoflow, I'm retrieving the site list from the database. So here I'm just retrieving all the site which is selected value as true. So it will return the site list. So once after this retrieval action, I'm just calling the JS action. So this is the JS action we have created. In this JS action is used to set the many-to-many association using Mendix client API. So by using this method, there is no necessity to create a separate microflow to set the association when sync is done to the server. So you can find the JS action in the NanoFlow Commons MXTechies. So we'll see how this JS action will work. Here, I'm just mapping the owner object as request. I need to map the site list in the many-to-many association. So I'm just mapping this reference object as site list. So once after doing this, we need to set the reference set name, which is nothing but module name plus association name, which is request underscore site. By using this, we can easily map the many-to-many association in the NanoFlow itself. So once after this, I'm just iterating the site list to change the one-to-many association to showcase this value in the page level. We are not committing this value anywhere in the NanoFlow. So because we are just showcasing the value in the page level, so it will not get synced into the server side. So going back to the request new page. So once the list of site is selected, we can see the list from the this list view. So once everything is done, I'm clicking on submit. So in this flow, we have used to commit the request. So this commit will commit the data into your local database. So if you want to sync the values into the server, first you need to check your device is connected to the internet or not. So for that, we have used this is connected activity to check our internet is connected or not. So this will do this will check our internet connectivity is connected or not. So once it's done, then we use the synchronization activity to sync our data into the server. So this activity is used to sync our database, local database into the server database. So here we can find three options. One is all object. All object will sync all the object which we configured in the native profile. Second is unsynchronized object. This will sync all the unsynchronized object which we configured on the native profile. So here comes to the third option. This is an important one, selected object. By using this, we will only sync the selected objects or list we are choosing from the list of items. So in this flow, we just need to sync the request object to the server. For that, I'm just checking the request object. Yeah. So using this method, our process will run much faster and also highly efficient for the users. So let's see how sync is configured in the navigation. So I'm jumping to the navigation page. So in the native navigation, you can see configure synchronization. So in this page, we can get all the entities we have used in the native pages and native nanoflows. So here we have four type of download. One is all object, expert, nothing clear data, and nothing preserved data. So all object, what all object will do? It will download all the objects applying the regular security constraint. By using expert, you can only download the objects which match the expert constraints. So nothing clear data. So it will not download any objects automatically, but do clear the data stored in the database. So nothing preserve data. So in this, we cannot download any data from any data automatically, and also we do not clear the data stored in the database. So this is used to take full control over the synchronization. So we prefer to use this preserve data option. So here we can see the expert constraints. So as a site engineer, I have to see only the site which are associated to the current user. So for that, I'm using this piece of constraint. So let us see how this is achieved using the preserve data. So I'm changing this expert to preserve data. So before that, I will explain what is apt event is. App event is nothing but it triggers the action based on onload, network status, and timer events. So I'm going to the home page and place on app event to showcase how it is handled. The home underscore native. Here I'm placing one app event widget. So here I'm having to add the onload function. So onloading the page itself, I need to sync the site details. So here I'm calling on NanoFlow to name as ONL onload custom sync. So I'm giving the access to site engineer. So once the NanoFlow is added, we need to retrieve the sites. So for that, so just a minute, our battery is low. We need to connect with the charger. Sorry for the interruption, guys. So for that, I'm calling on microflow. Call microflow activity. Yep. For this, I'm creating one sub microflow here. Sub underscore custom sync. So for here also, I need to map the security to site engineer. I'm mapping the site engineer here. So from here, in the home page, the site engineer wants to see all the sites which are related, which are associated with them. So for that, I'm retrieving the site from the database. I'm using the retrieve action from database. Entity as site. So I just want to use the expert constraint called site underscore engineer, which is associated with the account ID equal to current user. So this will return all the sites which are associated to the current user. After using this retrieve action, we just need to place the sync to device activity. I'm using the sync to device. So inside the sync to device object, I'm choosing the site list. So in this way, we can sync all the data which are returned from the retrieve list. So we are just committing the values from the server to local database. So using this method, we can reduce a lot of time when app is loading. So also we can implement this logic in all the pages to sync respective data. So let us see how images handled in the native application. Over to you, Ina.
Thanks, Gokul. Let us see how images are handled in native applications. So, as I have explored various online forums, I have come across several discussions on the issue of synchronizing large volume of uh, images in the native applications particularly. In this scenario, a visitor visits a site and captures multiple images using take picture activity, JavaScript action. However, the sync process can be time consuming and it takes time to sync and store the image in the database. So let's see a domain model. In our domain model, site is associated with daily process and multiple daily processes are associated with site image. So when syncing this to the server, it takes a lot of time to sync these processes, daily processes and the image objects to the web application because the image size can vary. So to solve this, we customize the JavaScript action, nothing but take picture activity. We have customized it to return as base64 instead of returning as default image object. Also, this action can be found in the NanoFlow comments of MXTechies. So here, how it works. So let's see the logic, how it works. So in this logic, when capturing an image, we create a site image object over here. So after creating the site image object using the customized JavaScript action, let's move on to this customized JavaScript action. So I'm passing the new parameter called new site images. So by using this, it gives us the return value as base 64. Instead of syncing, we are just instead of syncing the entire image, we are just syncing only the base 64 value, which is smaller and is faster. So how do you sync back to the server? Let's see how it's synced. I'll go to the domain modeling, and I have used an helper entity called image base 64. On this, we have added an event handler before commit. So when before committing, the microflow converts the base 64 value back to the binary value, means binary data, and it stores the image in the site image entity, the original entity. By doing this, we can handle image upload to the server in more effective way. So by doing this process, this method also works well in low internet connectivity. Yes. So just to highlight some of the key benefits of this Mendix native app solutions, which helps in the organizing level. 23% of operational efficiency and 30% cost saving also, and 28% of reduction in defects with automatically resulted into improve the quality and control, automated synchronization, which increase the efficiency and the productivity. So let me move back to the presentation. I hope everyone can see the presentation. So we have listed and covered all the points over here. So let's get started to the new topic. It's user interface. So user interface is a crucial part for all the applications, but specifically very crucial for native applications. So it has a significant impact on the user engagement and interfaces. It is important to consider and preference of the target audience. Regarding in Mendix Native, it provides a predefined Atlas native module that can be customized to meet specific requirements. When customizing this module or developing any new features, we need to have some best practices one can follow while developing UI for the native application. So let's see. Use design properties as often as possible. Plan to reuse as much as possible. Never change something in your code folder. So let's see. Going back to the modular and starting the emulator. Yes, everyone can see the emulator over here. I'll take this as an example for the select site. So let me explain. Cut it out. Back. I'll take any page to give an example for the design properties, how it can be handled. So let us take the site view page. So over here, we have an option called CSS. So I'm just selecting the scroll container, and in the appearance tab, there are many design properties like spacing, top, bottom, left, right, etc. So these are all predefined design properties or predefined stylings given from the Mendix. So, and moving on to the some good practices and to use how to reuse the code base. I'll take the file. So you can see, just pin it out so that you can understand. So you can see I have customized some sort of stylings like custom fonts and custom colors, spacings, borders, and shadow, margins, and some inheritance of the classes. So I have customized this application to make some cool user interfaces. So how can you reuse the stylings? So when making the constants, as we can inherit wherever we want. For example, you can see the constant I have created over here. I need some stylings from the border. So I'm just using the border class name to inherit over here, same as well as the shadow. So how we handle the multi-select option in the UI. So there is a class called user selected, user is unselected. So once the user is selected, it shows to the orange color, and it is unselected, it goes off. So let me move to the modular and show you how it works. So over here, we have used Mendix default dynamic class property. So you can see based on the condition, if the user is selected, it changes to orange color. If it is unselected, it changes to the normal mode. So these are the some key features and important points while developing the app. So let me get back to the custom fonts. So I have seen for our application, I have used Roboto custom font. So let's see in the native builder. So here we have an option called custom, so that you can see how custom fonts works. So I want some light colors of the Roboto, medium and thin. So if you want to copy the stylings, if definitely it's needed, just copy the snippet and paste it over the main folder of your application. So in this way, you can use the stylings in a reusable manner and introduce the line number of codes to handle it. And then dark mode. So how we have implemented dark mode. So you can see it is in the light mode. So I'll explain how it works. From React Native, we have fetching the API called appearances. So using that, I've used a class name called page site. So can you see we have used for the page site for the dark mode level, and this is reused for all kind of pages from the page level. So you can see the dark mode is implemented. So the container on the container, the background color changed to the when it's dark mode. First option would be the dark mode, and second feature would be the light mode. So for now, you can see the secondary color which we are using over. So I'll just show you how dark mode looks. And starting the app. So we have taken some custom developer build over here. Can you see how it works? The dark mode feature. It's pretty simple and easy to use the dark mode feature also over here. Just piece of line code to use over there. Next, I see by modifying the stylings from the core folders of the app directory. Yes, so core folders of the app directory. It is important to note that no one should use the base and the helper and the widgets folder over here. So instead of handling it over here, create a separate folder called site. For my purpose, I've used the site, and then import it in the module packages. So import the site over there and module.export. Using this, you can run the application through the app. So using this consistent naming convention is also an important point, and organizing code level in a logical way. It makes easier for the other developers to work with the code base. Next, we'll move on to the next slide. Unpin this. Unpin the emulator and move on to the next slide. So yes, let's go to the new topic. Is native builder UI. Native builder UI is nothing but NBUI shortly. It's a tool to organize the task to build a native apps. It mainly does two things. One, act as a UI to the GitHub repos and houses the React Native code. And second point, it compiles the model files, shortly known as MPR file, into the JS bundle for the configuration. Then, development and testing tool. Unlike web application, working on native application requires some familiarities on other technologies. So most of these other tools will require separate accounts, like Make It Native and GitHub and App Center token. So Make It Native. Make It Native is free and publicly available for iOS and Android apps. So GitHub repository. So GitHub is a platform for hosting code repositories. Since native code is separate code base and archived from the Mendix projects, it is hosted on external repository. Then app centers. Microsoft App Center is a cloud-hosted tool for building, managing, testing, and releasing it. It is connected to native repository on GitHub. It uses the source code to build the app as APK file and IPA file for both Android, iOS, and respectively. So now let's move on to the next topic, OTA release. So OTA release is briefly known as over the app. So when an application is built, you need to update your APK file or your IPA file. You just need to give an OTA release. So let's see the use cases and when it is used, when the development cases is updates are useful or not. So first is style changes. If you're changing any styles in the JS folder, you can give an OTA update. And for static iterations, like adding image inside the application or changing any text in the application. Then layout changes. Using layout changes also, you can give an OTA update. Nanoflow changes and JavaScript action. Widgets added or removed, and uh, models. So when do you need to give a full release? So when a full release is required. So when an app is built, on the initial setup of the release, a full release is required. And secondly, upgrade on Mendix native template or your the modeler also. Third, any app functionalities like using in the nanoflows can in the microflow level should be a full given by a full release. And native module, any native module has been imported. Then fifth point, app launches and splash screens. So for particular apps, we will be giving the specific product icons and splash screens when the opening of the application. So on that instance, we will be giving full release over there. So let's move on to the next topic is publish in Play Store. So to publish your app in the Google Play Store, you need a developer account. So once the developer account is created, create your app by providing all necessary details. Second, upload the APK files or the Android app bundles and provide the release name and the release note. Third, store listing. So create a custom store listing and provide all necessary details over here. Last, release. So finally, start publishing your app on your Google Play Store. By following these steps, you can easily publish your app on Google Play Store and make it available for developers to use. So, to conclude, Mendix Native could be a great solution for enterprises looking to build native apps for automation, legacy modernization, and business transformation applications. And I have created a detailed video on how to use Native Builder UI, OTA releases, and generating a key for signed APA works. So this video will be uploaded to the GitHub and will be shared at post of the meetup. Yes. Thanks everyone for your time. Over to you, Dinesh.
Thank you, Narendran and Gokul. Now we have come to the end of the session. We are very hopeful that the session is highly informative. Also, we are quite confident that the takeaway from the session will boost the confidence of every Mendix developer and encourage them to build enterprise level applications. Yeah, the floor is open for questions. You can use the chat to answer. We'll be happy to answer those. So, thank you, girls. Yeah. And thank you, Shobit, as well. The compliment. So ACD, this is a basic good practice that we follow in naming convention of Mendix while creating a microflow. ACD is nothing called as action. So when you're performing some action, so we'll name it as ACT, a prefix. Any other questions? How to publish your app? I think Narendran is the best good guy to do this. Yeah, you can go ahead, Narendran.
So, publishing your app in the Play Store is first you need to get the Google Console developer account. And after that, in the Mendix community itself, they have created a blog so that you can follow the steps over there. Each and every steps are very clear and crystal, so that you can follow them. I think I can give you the link also after this session ends. Anything else, Dinesh?
That's good. I hope this answered your question, to branch.
Thanks.
And you like we get like yes, that's right. What you told is right, Subranch.
To publish an app in Play Store.
Yeah, it's something like a big topic, Shobit. Maybe you can just shoot us at connect@mxtechies.com. I'll be happy to reply you there and share the possible and useful links for you. I'll share the link. Thank you guys. Have a great day.